A dog named Tommy was a loyal companion to his master, Atharv. Through all of life's ups and downs, Tommy stayed by Atharv's side, fiercely protective and ready to lay down his life if needed. On one cloudy day, Atharv decided to go fishing, even though his wife, Anusha, pleaded with him to stay home. Atharv, it's not a good time for fishing. Don't you see the thunder? Look at the black clouds. A heavy rain might come, she insisted. That won't stop me and Tommy. This is the only week I can go fishing. Look at him. He's been excited since morning because he knows it's fishing day, Atharv replied with a smile, cuddling Tommy. The dog's tail wagged happily. If something happens in the forest, who's going to save you? She asked while cooking. Who else but my boy Tommy? Atharv said proudly. You're becoming more reckless every day. You're already over 50. If you slip and break your leg in the forest, will Tommy carry you back? She questioned. That scenario will never happen. Look at me. I'm as fit as a 20-year-old, he boasted, though his fitness was only half of what he claimed due to his daily farm work. Fine, but make sure you take every precaution and come back as early as possible, Anusha said, resigned. Soon after, Atharv and Tommy left the house with all their fishing gear and safety equipment. They traveled deep into the forest, where the river was known for its large fish. As they walked, Tommy suddenly stopped and began barking. This area was frequented by wild boars, so Atharv urged Tommy to continue. Eventually, they reached the river and Atharv began setting up his fishing lines. After about an hour, they caught one big fish and two smaller ones. However, the drizzle started turning into a steady rain and the wind picked up speed. Tommy barked again, but this time, Atharv noticed a different tone in his voice, a warning. Tommy's bark carried a sense of urgency, as if he sensed danger nearby. Atharv began packing up their gear, wary of the worsening weather and Tommy's behavior. As they started their journey back, Tommy remained on high alert, his ears perked and his movements cautious. Atharv noticed that Tommy seemed to hear something he couldn't. Suddenly, in the middle of the forest, Tommy barked with all his might, directing Atharv's attention to a moving bush. Atharv, now on edge, pulled out a sharp knife from his pocket. He knew this area was home to leopards, wolves, and the most dangerous of all, bears. As Atharv cautiously approached the bush, the movement grew more frantic. He realized there was definitely something hiding there. Gathering his courage, he crept closer. The creature darted out, and Tommy gave chase. Atharv shouted for Tommy to stop, but the dog was too excited. After a short chase, the animal disappeared behind another bush. Atharv caught a glimpse of it and thought it might be a baby deer. When Atharv finally reached the bush, he found a baby deer trembling with fear. To his surprise, the baby's mother was nearby, but she was in terrible condition. Her legs were caught in a trap, and she was too weak to move. It seemed she had been trapped for days without food or water. Atharv's heart sunk as he saw the deep cuts in the deer's legs, with bones visible through the wounds. The baby deer stayed close. Watching Atharv's, he approached its mother. It seemed to sense that Atharv wanted to help. With great care, Atharv freed the mother deer from the trap. Realizing she needed immediate attention, he decided to take her back to his house for treatment. He lifted the injured deer onto his shoulders and began the journey home, the baby deer following at a distance. The rain grew heavier, but Atharv pressed on, determined to save the deer. When they reached the house, Anusha was shocked to see the deer. You went to catch fish, not deer. Killing deer is forbidden in India. How could you do such a thing? She scolded. Placing the deer gently inside, Atharv asked for a towel to dry it off. I didn't kill the deer. Look, it's still alive. This is its baby. I found the mother trapped in the forest. She was close to death, Atharv explained. Anusha's anger turned to compassion as she saw the baby deer standing at the door, looking at its mother. Oh, poor thing. Wait, I'll get some cloth. She must be shivering from the cold, Anusha said. Together, They dried the mother deer and cleaned her wounds. The baby deer, still wary of the humans, stayed outside. Atharv suggested offering it some carrots to coax it inside. Anusha brought out the carrots, and the baby deer, tempted by the smell, cautiously approached. As it began eating, Anusha gently caught it and brought it inside. She washed the baby deer, noticing how it shivered from the cold. "It's a girl," Anusha said as she examined the baby deer. "She's probably still dependent on her mother's milk." "Then give her some milk," Atharv said. Anusha wrapped the baby deer in a cloth and fed it milk from a bottle. Meanwhile, Atharva treated the mother deer's wounds with a first aid kit they kept for their farm animals. He cleaned the wounds, applied ointment, and bandaged them carefully. As Atharv finished, he noticed Tommy sitting patiently by the door, watching the entire scene. Despite being wet and tired, Tommy had waited for Atharva to tend to the deer first. Touched by his dog's loyalty, Atharv walked over to Tommy and dried him off with a cloth. Tommy wagged his tail happily, his eyes filled with love and pride. Anusha brought milk for both the mother deer and Tommy, while Tommy eagerly lapped up the milk, spilling drops everywhere. Atharv held the mother deer upright and helped her drink. At first, she struggled, but with Ata's care, she began to drink more easily. "Have you washed your head?" Anusha asked Ata. "No," he admitted. "You're taking care of these animals, but who's going to take care of you?" she said with a mix of affection and scolding. "Who else but you, my lovely wife?" Atharv replied with a grin. "Come here and sit," she said, grabbing a towel. She took the baby deer from his arms and began washing Atharv's head. "Remove your clothes," she added. "Oh, by all means. Looks like you're in a very good mood," he teased. "You always think of that." "Just shut up," she said playfully, washing him thoroughly. "Anusha," Atharv said as she cleaned him, "do you remember what you said earlier? You asked who would save me in the forest. I said Tommy would, and he did. But today, it wasn't just Tommy, it was this deer. What kind of fate brought this dog and deer together today? I'm so proud of him." "Yes, I'm proud of him too. He's a good dog," Anusha agreed. "After all, who brought this dog? My father did," she added. "Oh, now you're giving credit to your father. Who raised him?" "It was me. I should get the credit," Atharv argued lovingly. While they playfully debated, Tommy paid no attention to their words. His big eyes were fixed on the baby deer in Atharv's arms. All Tommy wanted was to make friends with the little deer and play with it. From that day on, their home became a sanctuary for the deer. The bond between Tommy, the baby deer, and Atharv's family grew stronger, a testament to love and kindness in the face of life's unexpected challenges.